We're going to solve a system of equations by plugging matrices into the calculator. There's two different ways of doing this, so I'm going to show you both ways. The first way is very similar to what we were doing by hand. So we want to find matrix A, which is all of your coefficients, all the numbers in front of the variables on the left side, 4, -1, 1, 2, 2, 3. And matrix B is the numbers on the other side of the equal sign. And just like what we were doing by hand, we're going to end up doing A inverse times B, but in the calculator. We need to go to second matrix, or x to the -1, and then you need to scroll over to the right to go to edit, and then click on matrix A. Type in all of matrix A. It's going to ask you for the dimensions, and that's a 3 by 3. And then you'll type in all those numbers. Just be careful with your positives and negatives. Make sure everything's plugged in correctly. And then quit out. That was this button right here. Second mode or second quit. Now matrix A is stored in the calculator, and you're going to store matrix B in the calculator. Second matrix again, and back over to edit. And now we can go to matrix B. Now matrices A and B are stored in the calculator. And remember, ultimately we're trying to do A inverse times B. Back to matrix, but now instead of scrolling to the right to edit, just click on A directly. Then we need the inverse button, which is the same as that matrix button, just without pressing the second first. It's the x to the -1. Now we have A inverse in the calculator, and then multiply, click on the times button, and now we want B, a second matrix. We don't have to go over to edit anymore because it's already stored. We can just click on B, and B will come up on your screen. And then you press enter, and that'll give you the matrix that's the answer. So even if you have to solve a smaller matrix by hand, you could still plug it into the calculator to check your work. The second method is a little bit faster, but might not be as easy to remember because you might be used to doing A inverse times B by hand, so that might be easy to remember in the calculator. But if you do remember this, it's a little bit quicker. When you plug in your matrix, instead of doing matrix A as the coefficients, you're going to do all of the numbers. So 4, -1, 1, and then you're even going to go across to -5. And then 2, 2, 3, 10. So that's what you're going to type in for the dimensions, and then type in all those numbers. Now matrix A is stored in the calculator. Go back to matrix, second matrix, then scroll to the right to go to math. So not this math button. You're in the matrix button right now. You scroll to the right to math after you click on second matrix, and then a bunch of options come up. Scroll down to RREF. Not REF, RREF. And then you want to put A inside of the parentheses. So you're going to have to go to second matrix A. And then when you press enter, ignore all those ones and zeros, but just look at the last column, and that should be your final answer. No matter which way you end up solving, you should get -1, 3, 2, which means x equals -1, y equals 3, and z equals 2.